Here's your Backstage Pass.
Quiet on the set.
Action!
Welcome to Sedona's Backstage Pass with Shondra, presented by Chef Lisa Dahl. This is your inside look into culture, curators, and creative artists. And now, your host, Shondra.
Welcome to all my VIPs. You've got your Backstage Pass, and you are in again and every Saturday at 10 a.m. Get ready for some really fun stories. This is going to be a fun show today. As always, I love my guests and my sponsors. And remember, you can always tune into Sedona's Backstage Pass, like I said, every Saturday at 10 a.m. on KEZM 106.5 FM and 780 AM. And, of course, live streaming on mellowmountainradio.com at 10 a.m. Sedona time, Saturdays. Right. Later, you can find it on Spotify, Pandora Radio, Apple Podcasts. You know the drill. All right. So I want to thank, first of all, my engineer, who is sitting right across from me where the window is. If we had video, you could see him and see me waving at him. Thank you, Ryan Thompson. He always makes this show sound so fabulous. Great producer, wonderful engineer. And, of course, Chuck Helstein, who is the owner of KAZM. All right. Well, let's see what's going on in Sedona. Lots of stuff. First of all, I want to tell you that the calendar of events is sponsored by Sedona Ballet. And if you look under sedonaballet.org, you're going to read about this wonderful organization. A big shout out to Winnie Munch and your team and all that you're doing. They do so much for the community and young dancers and folks who just love to watch dancers. I mean, just concerts and workshops and all kinds of things. Oh, my. All right. Getting into this. First of all, the Sedona International Film Festival has something happening tonight, and that is called Red Rocks Magic. It's a big magic show. You can get your tickets, so make sure you get those. You can always go to SedonaFilmFestival.com, see all the great movies, the wonderful events and concerts that are going on. And by the way, they're just getting ready next weekend. You can still do this, okay? Getting ready for their Met Live Opera, which is a live HD series. Their season's for 2025 to 2026. I have no idea. Maybe I need to drink more tea. All right. Anyway, all you want to do is go to SedonaFilmFestival.com. You can get all the information about this fantastic series. If you love opera, you are going to see the Met Live Opera live in an HD series, okay? And that happens at the Mary D. Fisher Theater. And again, remember, there's all kinds of wonderful indie films and events and concerts always happening at the Mary D. Fisher Theater. Now, today, after you hear this, run on over to the Sedona, I should say the community, how do I say this? Community Library Sedona. I always get confused. You know, I used to call it the Sedona Public Library, but no, it is a different name. Why? Because they are very community-oriented. From 2 to 7 today, there is a free event going on. It's called Get Loud, and there's all kinds of activities that are going on. Just go down there, okay? 2 to 7 p.m. today. So after you hear this, run down to Community Library Sedona, all right? Another thing that's going on is the Chamber Music Sedona tomorrow in the afternoon. I believe it's at 3 o'clock. That's on the 16th of November, tomorrow, Sunday. You can catch their concert. Chamber Music Sedona is wonderful. And let's see what else is going on. I don't know. There's also a Red Rock Ranger District Volunteer Trail Workday. If you feel like getting into doing what you want to do, make sure that you visit online to find out what's happening with our Red Rock Ranger District Volunteer Trail Workday. Just Google it. You'll find it. And remember, you can always check out all these other wonderful organizations, like, for instance, Sedona Arts Center, which is getting ready for their first Friday. And I'm going to be a part of that over there uptown, Sedona Arts Center. That's the first weekend or the first Friday of December. Of course, we got some time for that, don't we? Oh my gosh, let's get through Thanksgiving first. Then if you want to know what's going on with the Sedona Museum, Sedona Heritage Museum, always visit sedonamuseum.org. And there you go. Oh, visit Sedona.com is the Greater Sedona Chamber of Commerce site. That's good too. So now I think right now it's time for me to introduce somebody that I love having here. And I just adore this woman. She is a dynamo. Now when I say that, I don't say that lightly. I mean like a real dynamo. She always says that I'm the peanut butter to her jelly, or maybe it's a jelly to the peanut butter. I don't know. But anyway, she is my brunette sister, my Italian sister.
Not Italian.
Not Italian.
Zero.
Oh,
that's another subject.
All right. Do you recognize the voice? Because she could be a DJ. Okay. Lisa Dahl, Chef Lisa Dahl's in the house. God, you sound good on mic.
Oh, thank you.
You really listen to you. You're
well,
like, oh,
you know,
it's KAZM.
sexy is in right now.
So you have to do like KAZM 106.5.
Oh, yes.
Try it.
KAZM 106.5.
Thank you. So good. You're hired. You got the job. Like another one. I guess what you need. You are busy, aren't you?
Oh, when I was a kid, I used to do radio. I think I told
did?
you about that.
No, I don't remember that.
No, when I was a kid, my parents had women's clothing stores. And my father created these incredible, very interesting marketing hooks, which were based around my mother's name, which was Dorothy. And we had very famous women's clothing stores that started a fashion trend in Indianapolis back, oh my goodness, in the 40s probably is when my mom said, no, I'm sorry, in the 50s, let's say. So I was born in a clothing store, as I've told you in the past. And my father came up with this hook called My Wife is Dorothy, or My Mother is Dorothy. So we would do the commercials, and I would have a friend with me, and he would write the script, and then I would say, well, I know that because my mother is Dorothy.
I love that. I love it. It's such
so
a nice
I did
little hook.
radio at a very early age.
Oh my gosh. So this is like, you know this like the back of your hand.
Well, I like it because they can't see us. They can't see us, you know.
But if you did see her, well, may I just say, she's gorgeous. She looks like she came off a yacht today.
Yeah.
No, really.
Thank you.
No.
Well, blue and white stripes, navy and white, I actually do love that because it's very perky. But this is fun because I found that I had this and wore this when I went to Italy when I wrote my first cookbook, Elixir of Life, because there's a picture of me wearing it in 2010. But I haven't worn it since then. So this is like a really
It's like
fun,
a new outfit for you.
Yeah, it is.
Do you not have like outfits that go way back?
Yes, I do. I don't.
It's ridiculous.
The more that I really savor the things that I have that I cherish, I realize they never go out of style. Like, how would you know that this was 15 years old,
No,
you know?
You'd never know.
And I tell everybody that anything that was good once is still good.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I know we're talking about clothing. We're so off of the beam of what we're going to talk about
Well, it
today.
doesn't matter.
But you know
Clothing
what?
is everything. You
can't-
look so cute
Thank
today.
you. Thank you very much. This jacket was given to me by my sister, Jules.
Oh, it's
and I love this little
perfect.
thing. I would tell you it got lost in France. In Paris.
Oh, my gosh.
At the Moulin Rouge.
Whoa.
Tom and I were having dinner. By the way, I loved the Moulin Rouge because I love Lautrec. Well, that's why we went there. But I have to say, we were watching the show and Tom looked at me and said, I think I know the show. Because we worked on cruise ships. It was like watching a cruise ship show in a way. No offense. It's just that I wanted to see the can like a lot.
Yes.
And it only came twice. Anyway, I left my jacket there. And then we were in the cab, and I'm like, my jacket. So we called, and you had the cab guy call, and then we picked up the jacket.
And it came back to you.
It
I mean,
did.
that is
It
the
did.
greatest feeling in the world.
It is.
There's nothing like something that you don't give up on, and it does come back to you.
know,
And there's
right?
a power of positive thinking.
True.
It's very important.
True. So it has a little Paris thing going on. The vibe. It was sitting there alone on the chair.
It needed that beautiful blonde body back in it. And here we are today. Deja vu.
Here we are together. So you're getting ready to go to Coronado.
Yes, I am.
Oh, this is so exciting.
It is very exciting.
Actually, by the time we air this show,
Yes.
you would have already gone. Because we are pre-recording this show. I'm gonna pull back the veil. And I'm going to just say it how it is because you're going, and I need to have you here. I need to hear about all the things that are going on because this is amazing what you have going on.
It really is.
You've got some stuff. You've got some events. I mean, major events coming up in December, and I want everyone to know about this so they can buy tickets now.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Absolutely.
But if we go back to the Coronado that
Yes,
it's
let's do
actually
that.
where I'm going tomorrow.
Yes.
And we're going to drive because the airline things are a mess, of course.
Yes.
So it's a 7-hour drive, which makes it in a perfect range. I love the drive. I don't know that particular drive so well, but I love driving because then you can just get your thoughts to just relax after all that's been going on planning for these things. But we're going for the film festival. And the Coronado Film Festival is actually ironically tied in with the San Diego Culinary Festival. And why those two are overlapping, even though they're neighbors, it causes a lot of kind of a conundrum in a way of which thing you want to attend. And so there were many activities around I would say Sedona, around the San Diego culinary event. And I actually was allowed to participate in that event, but the numbers of people are so high and there's so much given that we are invited to feature our film with a wonderful wine tasting event that they do artistically, where they have a prominent winemaker for their fundraiser, and they design a bottle to go with the theme of the event.
Awesome.
So I'm bringing some culinary delights to go along with our film, because in our film, you see me producing Soup Hope, which is our soup for charitable giving. So I always think that soup and empanadas are like the perfect marriage.
I'm so there.
And so the soup, which
love it.
is just absolutely delightful, and people have heard me talk about it, but it's a crowd pleaser every time I take it to a large event, because not only is it so savory and wonderful and perfect as a fall winter soup, and they see me making it in our film, but it also is gluten-free, vegan, all the buzzwords that people love. Even if they don't adhere to that dietarily, it's always great to eat something that is so full of nutrition, so delicious that you would think perhaps it was made with some kind of a meat to get that savory, smoky flavor, but it isn't.
Wow.
It's 27 beans, legumes, quinoa, and then all the organic vegetables. It's a long simmering method that we do to let the flavors really develop in a way that you think you're eating this stew that is almost indescribable. It's addicting, to be quite honest with you. The nutritional aspect of it is neat, because when you combine beans, legumes, and the grain of quinoa and such, it actually creates a full protein. So you have this wonderful sustenance in this soup, and then you add the perfect handmade empanada and put that out for the people that have seen the film. And then there's always a Q&A where they talk about the film and they ask us questions. And the filmmaker, director that did our cinematography is there usually on the stage, as he was just recently in Newport. And if I told you this, Eric Wolfinger, who is our director, who is a James Beard awarded cinematographer and food photographer multiple times, in Newport, which actually took place several weeks ago, we ran over for 2 days. He had never seen our film on the big screen.
Oh, my gosh.
Because when we premiered in the Sedona Film Festival, he was actually in Uruguay.
Yes, I remember.
So when people chimed in over, and he looked bigger than life, and a lot of people in this audience that we're talking to now saw that, but he didn't get to see it in the big screen. Okay. So when we were in Newport, sitting across from each other, next to each other, I should say, we both had tears in our eyes. Of
course you did.
Because when you see the subtlety, the beauty, the magic of this film, and how much it tugs at hearts of people that don't even know me or us in Sedona. And that's why I'm doing the film festivals. And Coronado and the San Diego area are neighbors of ours. They're kind of our sisters. You'd be surprised how many people, when I'm in our restaurants, say they're from that area.
We're from San Diego. We
Yes,
moved here from
exactly.
and Coronado. I grew up on that beach.
Oh, my
I
gosh.
love that beach and worked the Coronado Hotel many times. Tom did too.
Oh, wow.
Big parties, big, huge corporate parties.
And that's
things
what
like
they're
that.
going to have.
You're going to love that.
Well,
Ooh,
and
that
I have not
ballroom.
been for years. I don't know when was the last time that you and Tom were there.
Well, we were there in 2018, but the thing is, we've moved. It's 23 years here, and so
Yes.
we haven't performed there since that time.
Yes.
But we've gone back and forth to perform in San Diego, and Coronado was one of our places we loved just together.
my goodness.
The sand is like golden. It has a golden sparkle to it. It's really beautiful. It's changed quite a bit, though.
Of course,
It's
everything
really
has changed. And when you go to places that you haven't been for quite some time, which is exciting for me, taking these, 2, 3, 4
Yes.
day little journeys, because it reconnects me with places that I haven't been in quite a few years. And it's really fun because it kind of embraces the connectivity that we really all have.
Yes, and when you go to somewhere like San Diego or wherever you go, you take Sedona with you. You are
Absolutely.
representing Sedona.
Well, it's the reason I would go through this type of, it's labor intensive, to be honest with you. I mean, people probably don't realize what goes on. Like right now, I'm actually kind of a nervous wreck because, we have to get the dry ice. We have to make sure that if we are carrying it in our vehicle, that everything is absolutely frozen and in stable condition. And then when we get to a destination, we don't just go and lay back in the hotel. We have to make sure it goes into their freezer storages and all that goes along with that behind the scenes. Now, to be honest, that pales by comparison to what I am preparing for the events coming up for the launch of our non-for-profit. I mean, as a matter of fact, right now, when I hear 120 servings, that's like kid stuff now. I've done larger events by far, and they're more grueling. Sometimes we have to send things by air, etc. This is not that. We'll put it in our vehicle, we'll drive there, and we'll be welcomed to a wonderful audience. I know this is on the 9th. It's a Sunday in Coronado. Then we're right back. And we come back. I do not come up for air in the planning and the details of what we're trying to accomplish to launch, first and foremost, our own foundation. Because as you hear me talk about over and over and over, we've been giving to foundations for so many years, since the beginning, since Dahl and DeLuca began.
The truth.
And everyone around town knows that, and they hear about that. But I had a funny thing. I wrote about this the other day. I remember when about, 20-some years ago, I looked at our financial CFO and I said, hey, our restaurants are actually non-for-profits themselves. And he goes, well, it seems so. But yet we never thought that we would be able to go through all the things that you must do to become an official 501(c). So we've talked about it in the community, but we've never let everyone actually know it's for real. We really are a true non-for-profit. It's in my name, LisaDahlFoundation.org, because I was advised by the Arizona Community Foundation that if it was in my name, more people would be drawn to it. But as everyone would know, if they know me, it's in honor of Justin. And so everything is about Justin. And that's just, a simple fact. So I know that he is thrilled with what we're doing because we are really focused on feeding what I call the forgotten people. And in the state of Arizona and in New Mexico and throughout the country, quite honestly, the indigenous people have been forgotten. And as I've researched, the poverty levels are staggering. So my soup not only fits in with a flavor profile, but most importantly, a nutritional profile that will help to feed people, to feed the kids in the schools and those that don't have daily nutrition. And so the purpose of the foundation is so that we can manufacture the soup for larger scale distribution, as well as to bottle it as you would see in a grocery, natural grocers and Whole Foods, et cetera, when you go down a soup and sauce aisle, you would see the product and you would read the story about the foundation. And my ultimate goal is for global distribution.
Wonderful.
Not just for the indigenous forgotten people, but for the forgotten people that right now, especially now, with all that is going on, as we're all aware of, to the point when we hear the word the SNAP and all these things, there are more people that are without than many of us think of on a daily basis.
No, it's true. So I want to know just briefly, because we'll talk about this, of course, ongoing for the rest of the year.
Yes.
Just tell me about the 3 dates are really to offer people an opportunity to not only enjoy a culinary experience and live music and all those things, but it's also, these are fundraisers.
Yes.
And this is to help Project Soup Hope.
It's very much that. We created in a 3-day window between Thanksgiving and Christmas. We did that with purpose because it's a perfect time to have gratitude and to think of those of us who have versus those who have not. And so we created a package of 3 events that all feed together. Some people might come from out of town. We hope that the biggest presence will be those people that have known us for years and years, to have 3 actually fun and wonderful film and feast events. So on the first day, which is December 12th, it's a luncheon, and it's going to be more than just coming to lunch. Although I have to tell you, I'm so psyched about this event because we have Sabina Sandoval with the drummers when they welcome. After first, they will go to see the film. Many have asked us, can we see the film? It'll be at the Mary Fisher Theater. I believe that it's 10:30 that arrival, and then we can transport down to the theater. Then the people that are joining are going to come back and be welcomed by tribal drumming with Sabina Sandoval and Native American flautists. And something I am so very excited is that we're going to have a Grammy-nominated Native American Indian, very much a star in his own right, named Aaron White. And Aaron White is a Navajo storyteller that is a genius musician. He plays flutes that are handmade, that he's made himself. He tells stories, and he's going to begin the formal luncheon, but the reception is going to just be filled. I'm putting out all kinds of handmade tapas, and it'll be beautiful right under the tent here or under the patio at Mariposa at about 11:30. People will enjoy the reception, and then they'll come in for the formal luncheon. And guess who's going to be our MC and auctioneer for the live auction?
Who?
Patrick
Schweiss.
Oh, and guess what?
Perfect.
He owes me.
And
he knows it.
We talk about this all the time.
He owes me.
He does. Patrick, if you're listening, we're just, it's official. It's out on the
Yes,
airwaves.
it is.
But he's a fabulous MC.
He's incredible. And he
He's
was
great.
already nervous, he says, because he's never done this for anyone other than the film festival. But he's doing it for us. And the menu that I'm creating, along with all the things that go between the layers, I always talk about layers in cooking, but the layers of entertainment laced in. This is going to be an afternoon. It'll probably start around 10:30, if I recall, going over to the film and then viewing the film, coming back, going to the reception, and then having this incredible luncheon with interactive drumming. Anyone that wants to get involved and do it, it's so
how
sensuous.
Yummy.
And that's a whole afternoon Friday. Then Saturday, They will go to the Mary Fisher Theater before going to the 30th celebration of Dahl and Toluca that everyone here knows put all the other restaurants on the map.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be amazing because I am going to knock people out with this menu. And David Dimmler is paired the wines. And those that know David know that we have garnered 48 Wine Spectator Awards of Excellence with David's wine choosing and me and he pairing this menu. But the reception is going to be incredible. We're doing bubbles and these wonderful things that I'm creating. And that also benefits the foundation.
Wonderful.
We are going to have a world-renowned, wonderful pianist to start the reception at Dahl and Toluca, Sandrine Ederle.
Yes, Sandrine
and
is great.
She's incredible.
So, I know we have one more. We have to wrap it up because here we are at the end of a show. Oh, my gosh. I can't believe it goes by so fast with you.
It always happens.
So there is one more, and that is December 14th, is it? 14th.
Yes, it is. And that's just going to be the most fun Sunday brunch, pizza brunch, all that goes around that. People are going to try our first ever private label wines.
Ooh.
They're going to have food everywhere. They won't be able to move. But guess what? The most fun of all, they're going to make pizza with me in the pizza oven.
That's going to be so much fun. So that's at Pizza Lisa.
Pizza Lisa.
In the
and
village.
That's right, because it's nice and big and fun and
it is fun
everything.
there. So, all right. Now, if anybody listening would like to be at any of these, if not all of them, because you could do all of them, make sure that you visit LisaDahlFoundation.org. Is that where we want to go?
Absolutely.
Okay. LisaDahlFoundation.org. All the information is there. Book your tickets. Let's have some fun together. It's going to be fabulous. Thank you, Lisa, for being with me.
I love it.
I can't wait until the next time.
Me too.
Stay with me, you guys.
You can taste it in every bite. For over 30 years, Chef Lisa Dahl has redefined what it means to dine in Sedona, serving soulful, handcrafted cuisine inspired by love, artistry, and community. From the wood-fired kitchens of Mariposa to the couture flair of Butterfly Burger, every experience is elevated, every ingredient intentional. To learn more about Lisa Dahl and the Dahl restaurants, please visit cheflisadahl.com.
Need a clean car fast? Come to Cleaner, Quicker Car Wash. We'll have you sparkling and back on the road in minutes. Whether you're after a quick shine or a deep clean, you'll get top quality service, eco-friendly soaps, and smiles all around. Drive up, shine up, and feel good, all without slowing down your day, and look like a star in your car. Located in West Sedona on Highway 89A. For more information, visit cleanerquickercarwash.com.
Here's more of Sedona's Backstage Pass with Shondra, presented by the Dahl Group.
I'm thrilled to have my second guest. I have been wanting to meet this incredible individual for some time, and he's here in studio. Let me tell you who he is. He is the artistic director and the conductor of the Sedona Symphony, William C. White. Thank you so much for being here, Maestro. I'm befuddled a little bit. Really, I just really wanted you to be here, and it's like, here you are, and it's like, oh my gosh, and now I'm going to fawn all over you here.
I'm so excited. Thank you for having me, Shondra.
Thank you for taking your time. I know that you've been doing concerts and everything, and I have a zillion questions for you.
Then we better get started.
Okay, I know, really. I better get on with it. First of all, you have done so much. You've got, oh my gosh, your education. Let's just talk about that. First of all, you have a master's degree in conducting from the Indiana University's Jacobs School of Music and a BA in music from the University of Chicago. You also attended the Pierre Monteux, is that it?
Excellent pronunciation.
School of Conductors, thank you. Mm-hmm. And you also served as a conducting associate and composer in residence there.
That's all correct. Yeah.
My gosh. Mm-hmm. And then in Seattle, you're doing a whole bunch of other things, and you're a musician. You're a pianist. Mm-hmm. You play viola.
I do.
Oh my gosh! It currently still. doing all of that?
I mostly am a composer and a conductor at this point. Yeah, I can't.
Okay.
I don't really keep up my chops practicing.
Okay. All right. What would it take for you to do that with all of this going on? How many hours would you have to put in with viola? Let's just say.
Oh, with the viola? Oh, boy. I pale to think at how much time I would have to put in to really give a solid performance on the viola. But, piano, I still occasionally. And actually, in Seattle, the instrument that I play most commonly is the harpsichord.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because I will direct performances of old music, like from the year 1700 or something, like Handel's Messiah. Yes. I direct that from the harpsichord every year in December.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love that. Are other people doing this? I mean, other conductors, yes?
Yeah, people who specialize. So I'm a generalist as a musician, as a conductor. And so I do a little bit of everything. Okay. But there are especially people who specialize in that music of the Baroque era. So this is, we're talking about like the early 1700s. There's a lot of those people who do direct from the harpsichord, from the organ, and conduct an ensemble of instruments and voices.
What's your favorite? I mean, do you love the full orchestra? And this is like a machine. I had one experience where I was actually reciting things with an original, like several original pieces in one big. Oh, it was amazing. This is really being with a symphony and the conductor's looking at me and giving me cues for the different things I'm reciting. Oh my gosh. You should have seen my notes.
I bet.
Whoa. It was intense because I really didn't have any music in front of me and it wouldn't have mattered because there were cues from drums.
Oh, yeah, right.
Things like that.
Yeah. No, I love the big, huge symphony orchestra experience and working with voices and singers and choruses. But, here in Sedona, what we have is a really high caliber chamber orchestra where the average size of the orchestra is about 35, 36 musicians. And what you can get with that in terms of the power and the focus and the virtuosity offers huge rewards that are of their own, sort of a different style than you have of like a big blowsy kind of symphony orchestra. So, both can be great.
So you are conducting for those kinds of orchestras as well, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Tell everybody what a full orchestra, how many members in a full orchestra?
Well, if you talk about like a symphony orchestra, then we're talking more like maybe 60 to 100. If you're talking about a chamber orchestra, again, like what we have here in Sedona, then it's, usually under 40.
Okay. All right. So I have to ask you, when was it that you knew without a shadow of a doubt that you were going to turn that corner and become a conductor?
I think I always had it in my bones because, it was the music that connected with me rather than, say, the instrument that I was playing. So, as you mentioned, I did start on the viola, and I like the viola well enough. But I was never a musician who connected with music through their instrument primarily. It was I connected with it as a listener. I just got this supercharge from listening to the music, and it just turned me on in this incredible way. And especially the orchestral music that I was listening to. So I would say that I really just, that the calling kind of came to me when I was in high school.
Okay.
And it started because I was writing music of my own. When I was 13, 14, 15 years old. And what I found was, shock of shocks, that experienced conductors weren't like lining up to conduct the music of a random 15-year-old kid. So if I wanted to have my music played by an orchestra, I had to do it. I had to just grab my friends and corral them into a room and, get up there and lead them through it. And so I was doing that when I was about 14 or 15 years old. And then I think you'll like this because I know have a little bit of a theatrical background. But when I was in high school, our director didn't really love doing the musicals, like the drama, clubs musicals.
Really?
Yeah, I know. And so I ended up being the one who got to conduct those when I was a junior and a senior in high school.
Oh my gosh,
I did
fantastic.
Cabaret, I did Kiss Me Kate by Cole Porter, and then so that got the theatrical bug. And so then I did summer youth theater, I did Singing in the Rain and West Side Story, and I did theater in college.
But were you singing? Were you acting and singing?
I was conducting.
You were conducting.
I was conducting
this is amazing.
Yeah.
This is amazing to me.
Yeah.
It was in you.
Yeah, it was in me.
And it is a feeling, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
You know what you want. When you want that tension, when the dynamics
That's
and building.
exactly right.
It's so
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
Did you ever listen to other kinds of music other than classical music?
Sure. Well, I mean, I got the bug for Broadway musical theater,
Right.
especially that golden era of Broadway musical
like
theater.
jazz.
Oh, yeah.
That works together, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of jazz musicians, most of them have a classical background.
That's right. Many of them do. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly right. And I played a little bit of jazz piano as well along the way. But
That's
yeah, and
good.
I love some of that fusion music. Like people might know Claude Bolling, his suite for flute and jazz piano trio.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
so interesting. You're like the first person to mention that to me.
I think
it's really
very
good.
fun music. I mean, it has
Really
that real
good.
70s kind of vibe to it.
Yes.
It's just fantastic.
Yes.
But, I was the assistant conductor of the Cincinnati Symphony for 4 years, and they're known for their pops programs. So, I mean, we would have Broadway singers in, we would have country singers, we would have pop singers in, all to do their music with orchestra. And it's great. Yeah, it's
Who was
fantastic.
the most famous individual that you've worked with?
Oh,
I'm
that's
curious.
I did get to be kind of friendly with Roseanne Cash when she came to sing with the Cincinnati Symphony.
Very cool.
Yeah, and she had brought some new charts, and she wasn't necessarily quite sure how they fit together with the orchestra, and I was assigned to kind of play her through her
very
parts and
cool.
everything. Yeah, it was very fun.
Very cool. And have you ever played an instrument with someone who was really well known that you just loved, and here you were on stage with them?
Actually, I would say that we just finished a round of concerts here in Sedona, and this is not somebody from the non-classical, but for somebody from the classical world. We had this amazing pianist named John Nakamatsu, who is like, maybe not a household name, but among classical musicians, a very high caliber, respected musician. And to have him on stage for my first concerts here in Sedona was like really a thrill.
That is exciting.
Yeah.
Do you ever get nervous? Do you know, a lot of people, they always ask me, do you get nervous before you go out for a play or a musical or anything you're doing? What's the answer? What do you think?
There are certain pieces that have made me a little nervous. And earlier in my career, when I was just getting started, then, of course I had nerves. At this point, I usually feel like I know the amount of work that I need to put into a performance to deliver the goods. And that's, what I do. So I come prepared and I go on there and I just try to kill it.
So I've got this is a little personal.
Yeah, please.
Okay, a little personal question here.
Let's go there.
Everybody has a process. So what is yours before you're going to go out
Right.
and conduct? What is your process? What do you go through internally? And I have my own thing. Let's find out what yours is.
The process with being a conductor, it starts very far before the performance. I mean, really a long way away. Because when we're dealing with great works of classical music, like, say, for example, we just did Beethoven's first piano concerto. This is the piece that we did with this guy, John Nakamatsu. Months ago, I had to ask him, what edition of the score do you like to do? Do you like to use? Because these pieces have been around for 250 years, or 200 years at least. And different publishers have published different editions of the sheet music. So the thing first is we have to agree on what edition we're using, because there might be discrepancies. In 200 years of recorded musical history, different publishers have made little edits to the music, or have chosen this thing, or have chosen that thing. So we've got to start with that.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Then
that's cool.
Then we've got to decide, okay, so you imagine an orchestra with, say, in this orchestra we've got 6 violins playing first violin, 6 violins playing second violin, 4 violas, 4 cellos. They've all got to move their bows up and down at the same time.
Absolutely.
On the same notes.
Yes.
And that's not a given. So somebody has to go through there and decide what's going up, what's going down, what's going on. And for me, I like to do that.
That's
personally.
very interesting. I would never think that. I would never know that.
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
Wow.
So I will go through the score in really tight detail and figure out these up bows and these down bows. And this has happened months before the concert, because then the musicians have to get their music to start practicing it.
When do they get their music?
4-6 weeks in advance.
Okay. And then how many rehearsals do you have with them?
4.
4.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So
All
we
right.
do a concert on Sunday here. The first rehearsal is on Thursday night.
Okay. Makes sense. Mm-hmm. Got it.
Yeah.
And they're they're phenomenal readers. They've been doing this forever. And so they're on their game.
They're high quality professional musicians.
Right.
There's no doubt about it.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. Have you ever had anything wacky happen on stage? that shouldn't have, but you were able to turn it around in the moment?
Okay, this is the story. I mean, this is the story of my debut in Sedona.
Okay, here we go. And when was that? That was the spring of 2025?
This was no. This was in 2023.
Right. Okay. Okay, tell us.
Can we go there?
I cannot wait to hear this.
Okay.
Yes.
So I was here as a guest conductor at that time. We had rehearsed this program all the way up through the dress rehearsal. The dress rehearsal was on a Saturday afternoon. Concert was on Sunday. At this time, the majority of the orchestra were musicians based in Flagstaff. And we still have a very large contingent of Flagstaff musicians in the orchestra. Overnight, between Saturday and Sunday, there was a huge snowstorm.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So, as your listeners will almost certainly know, Flagstaff is a few thousand feet more up high in elevation, right?
Oh, yes.
So when snow hits, they get it really bad.
That's right.
And they got it really bad. I mean, we're talking, feet of snow.
Oh, no.
Highway shut down. So Flagstaff musicians, were well over 50% of the orchestra, they could not get to Sedona for this concert.
Holy Toledo.
In Sedona, there was a little sprinkling, little flurry, maybe something like that. So we had the very strange confluence of events where the audience could get to the concert with no problem. I could get to the concert with no problem. But the musicians of the orchestra could not get there.
Oh, my God.
So we had to figure out what we were going to do. And I
Right.
said, look, this is show business. Show must go on. The violin soloist for the concert was in town in Sedona. So I said, look, how about we do this? I will play your concerto that the orchestra was going to play. I'll accompany you on the piano.
Okay. I love this.
So we went up there. We winged it, threw it together. She delivered an amazing performance. I delivered a creditable. I got us from beginning to end.
No, I'm sure you did a great job.
Then I said, I've kind of got this during the pandemic time, during lockdown time, just to entertain myself. I had written all of these songs.
Ooh.
Where the gimmick was that the lyrics all came from the highly poetic photo captions from Martha Stewart's Instagram.
Oh, I love this. This is great.
And because I had written these songs as just like a lark, for me to entertain myself, playing and singing along.
Fun, right?
I said, how about we sing the Martha Stewart Instagram song cycle?
Oh my gosh!
And I did it for the audience still came.
Oh, and they must have loved it.
To this day, now that I'm the actual artistic director here,
yes,
people come up to me and they're saying like, "Oh my gosh, we remember the Martha Stewart. It was amazing."
It's all about the yes and, isn't it?
That's right.
Right? You've got to, in the moment, things happen.
That's right.
And you have to be willing to be flexible, think outside the box, and make it work.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
I was in a position to do something extraordinary.
No wonder they ran after you. No doubt about it. They ran after you to be the executive director. I mean, you had to. They were like, that's the guy right there, the artistic director. Boom.
We had a great time, and I think that was a special day. And now, being here and actually conducting the orchestra in concert is now we've got a great start going on.
That's thank you for sharing that. It's such a good story because it's so important. You just do have to yes and it. I had just recently a musical that I'm in and wrote all the songs for, which is going up in a few weeks again. We had a situation with the sound at one other. It was a beautiful performance. It's a beautiful performing arts center here. It's an old vintage theater, the Old Town Center for the Arts, and we happen to have some Nederlander friends in the audience. They love the show, and with the sound problem, we kept our cool. One of our actors is Gail Edwards from the show. Oh my gosh, now I'm forgetting it. It's a Living and Full House, and so anyway, she went with it. And afterwards, I talked to them because they're my friends that came to see the show, and they told me a story of going to a Broadway musical where they had problems with the electricity. It all went down at the top of the show. And what happened? The person with the lead took a megaphone and sang her song and brought the house down. Of course, this is what we do. I was so grateful to Gail because of what she did. And then hearing that, and they loved it. They still talk about it. Made the newspapers. They got publicity like they would never have had if that hadn't happened. So,
but this goes back to two things that you were talking about before. I mean, one is the question of the artist's preparation.
Yes.
And that is why we have to be so thoroughly prepared, is because you don't know what's going to happen.
Now, let me ask you, do you use pickup musicians? I know you only have 4 rehearsals, so that's almost the same thing because you're coming into town, right?
Yep.
So it's almost like pickup musicians in a way, although these are people that play together, right?
So the way that the model of an orchestra like the Sedona Symphony works is there's what's called the core of the orchestra. So these are the musicians who are they are auditioned, they're like members of the orchestra, and they are given the opportunity to play every single concert throughout the season. Now, sometimes, things come up, they might be out of town, they might have this or that or the other. They can sub out. So then we will also have a roster of substitute musicians upon whom we call on a somewhat regular basis to deputize for people when they have to leave. Right. So the orchestra the personnel is never the exact same from concert to concert, but there is a certain stable core that are used to playing with each other, that are familiar with the hall, that know the kind of repertoire that we're going to be doing.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Have you ever had to pick up a musician though, because something happened? Yep. You had to fly someone out from Phoenix, let's say, or something like that?
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you it hasn't happened here yet. So,
okay.
I'm sure that there will come a time when it probably will.
Possibly.
So I live in Seattle, and I direct an orchestra and a chorus there. And it was about 2 or 3 years ago. Well, it's happened a few times, especially in the post-COVID world, of course, these things happen. But I would say the most extraordinary account was I was doing a performance of a piece by a composer named Franz Joseph Haydn, and it's called The Seasons. And it's an oratorio, so it's like got a big chorus, and it's got 3 soloists who play characters who are sort of like rustics. They're like a farmer and his daughter and this daughter's suitor, and they're singing about the changing of the leaves and like the blossoming of spring and all of this kind of stuff. Our tenor had to drop out for ill health. We're talking 48 hours before the show.
Oh my gosh.
And look, there are some pieces like we were talking about. I do Handel's Messiah every year. Handel's Messiah, I could pick up somebody off the street who could sing the solos in Handel's Messiah. The classical music street, shall we say. That's one that a lot of people know. Haydn's The Seasons, this piece does not get performed much. This was like a special event. And so, I didn't know what I was going to do. So then you start asking people, do you know anybody who's ever sung The Seasons before? Do you know this? Well, it turned out that there was a tenor in Portland who was at least familiar with the music and was such a great sight reader that she could come up. She drove up on no notice. Drove up 4 hours. That's a 4-hour drive. She drove up started driving up 4.5 hours before the dress rehearsal. Walked on stage after we had started the beginning of the rehearsal and sight read the whole piece from start to finish.
Oh my gosh.
It was one of the most astounding feats of musical virtuosity I've ever seen.
Have you ever worked with that person since?
Absolutely, because I told her afterwards, I said, look, you have bought yourself carte blanche.
Absolutely.
You tell me what you want to do. It's not a question of me finding the right project and then asking you to do it. You tell me what you want to do, and we're programming it for next season.
That's how it works.
Yep.
For those of you who are studying, remember that. You got to be a fast study, and boy, you better be a great sight reader if you're going to be doing stuff like this.
Yep.
So now I want to go back in time a little bit. Where were you born?
I was born in the Washington, D.C. area, and that's where I grew up until I was 18 years old and went away to college.
I love Washington, D.C. I thought it was just such the coolest place ever, really. Yeah. I always felt safe there, too. Really good. So now, were your parents involved in music?
No, not at all.
Wow.
This
is outstanding. Wow.
Yeah. They are music appreciators.
Yes, but
there was music in the house, just on the speakers and stuff.
When was the first time you put your finger down on a piano?
Oh gosh, I was a little kid for sure, but we didn't have a piano in the house until I was 15 years old.
Oh my gosh!
And then my mother got a relatively inexpensive upright piano that for a Christmas gift, and she did her best to hide it from me. She wouldn't let me go into the basement for like a month before Christmas. She was like, "No, you can't go down there." I was like, "All right, I don't know, I didn't know."
No,
what she was
this had to
talking
be
about.
Like your car, it's like car with a bow on it.
That's right.
It's like
that is exactly right.
Right? You must
way
have
better
fainted.
than any car that I could. I don't care about cars.
Way better.
Yeah, exactly. exactly.
Way better.
But then once the piano was in the house, you couldn't tear me away from it.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, I remember. I remember getting my first guitar, like real good guitar.
Yeah, sure.
I was like, I begged my mother. I was like, please, I can't stand this guitar I'm working with, so cheap. And I learned on it, but boy, get a good guitar.
Yep.
It's the same idea. I just couldn't tear me away from it. Yeah. So now, when you said that you were writing songs early, so what was it, 13, 14?
Yeah, 12 even. Yeah, I think I was starting to write some music.
That's cool. Yeah, that's very good. That's about when I started to think like writing.
I think that's when the switch can flip. You know, when you go from, I mean, it's one thing to sing like kid songs, right, and to know what a tune is and kind of hum along, but then for music to grab you, I don't know. I think there just has to be like the twinges of adolescent angst have to be in there, right? Because I mean that's what music is about. It's about emotion.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. There's a sign. What does it say? It says something like, music picks up where words can't express. I mean, I totally believe that.
Yeah.
Were you exposed then to a lot of different genres as a kid? Because they were music lovers.
That's right. Yeah. So there was a little bit of classical music in the house, but more so, I mean, my parents my dad was really into bluegrass and music from the 60s and 70s, the kind of psychedelic rock that he had been into. My mother was more into, I would say, like R&B, country a little bit. So yeah, it was a wide variety.
Any jazz in the house?
A little bit. I found jazz really through my school's music program because our teacher was very serious about jazz, and so a lot of my friends were super into it. And
so so in the music department in your high school was a mentor for you, correct? Yeah,
there were a couple.
Somebody who really trusted you.
And because I was singing too, so I was in the chorus and in the orchestra.
Right.
And both of those gentlemen were definitely influential.
And you're like conducting the musicals.
Yeah, that's right.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. What were the musicals again?
I did in high school. I did Cabaret, and then I did Kiss Me Kate, the Cole Porter musical.
My gosh, that had to be a thrill.
It was a thrill of a lifetime. Now, the reason that I got to do that was because the year earlier, when I was a sophomore, I pitched in for a couple of rehearsals. Okay, and those were my first opportunities really to conduct.
Were you nervous? I mean, this had to be so thrilling, or did you just jump in?
Oh, I both.
You had to do that
both
in order to make it.
I jumped in, right? Because people knew that, because like I had said, I had corralled some of my friends to play like my compositions, right. And so I knew my way a little bit around just like the basic directing of the orchestra, and so the teacher had to miss, and so it was like, well, we'll give Will a shot here, and. So this was like, the pit orchestra plus the singers. I mean, and to me, that's some of the most powerful music is when voices and orchestra combine. And with the show that we were doing was The Wiz. So this is like, the urban black music version of The Wizard of Oz.
Love it.
And I was up there, I was 15 years old. I was like blacking out while I was up there in front of, I mean, like it was so intense, such a powerful feeling and experience. I love that I could hardly keep my eyes open.
It's so good. Thank you. I love these stories. I'm like seeing this red light next to me, which tells me we're running out of time. This can't be happening. Will you come back?
Oh, whenever you want.
Okay, good. Because there's so much to talk about.
Blather on for hours.
I know, right?
You can't shut me up.
Could talk to you for hours. Really, you're fabulous. All right, let's talk about SedonaSymphony.org. That's where everybody out there listening can get tickets. You can purchase them there.
Of course,
correct?
Absolutely.
And there's also, I'm sure, seasons where you can purchase the entire season.
That's exactly right.
The Sedona Symphony is actually doing their performances or concerts at Sedona
Performing Arts Center.
Right? I want to say SPAC.
That's what we call it.
Yeah, that's it. But people listening around the country may not know that.
That's
Sedona
right.
Performing Arts Center. If you're coming into Sedona, take a look at SedonaSymphony.org and plan some time around this so that you can go and see Will in person. Thank you, Will, so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We will be right back. Stay with me.
You've explored the trails, stood in awe of the red rocks. Now, discover how Sedona became Sedona. The Sedona Heritage Museum tells the story of Red Rock country, from ancient cultures to today's vibrant community. It's interactive, family-friendly, and open year-round, indoors and out. Sedona Heritage Museum, preserving and sharing the soul of Red Rock country. Plan your visit at sedonamuseum.org or call 928-282-7038.
Take a deep breath, then let it go. At Sedona's New Day Spa, your escape begins the moment you arrive. Enjoy luxurious massages, rejuvenating facials, and native-inspired body treatments. Every moment is designed to restore balance and renew your spirit. Voted Sedona's Best Day Spa, this is more than self-care. It's your sanctuary. Book your experience today at SedonaNewDaySpa.com or call 928-282-7502.
When your project demands precision, experience, and trust, turn to Sefton Engineering Consultants. From expert civil engineering to construction management, we deliver real-world solutions that stand the test of time. With over 30 years in the business, Luke Sefton's team is committed to getting your project done right, on time, and on budget. Sefton Engineering Consultants. Reliable, experienced, personal. Learn more at SeftonEngineeringConsultants.com. Here's more of Sedona's Backstage Pass with Shondra, presented by the Dahl Group.
Well, I have had a great time today with my guests. I mean, thank you, Chef Lisa Dahl, and also the artistic director and conductor of Sedona Symphony, William C. White. And wait, do you hear that? You know what that means. It's time for my shameless Shondra spot. All right. I have two things to tell you about. An update. First of all, last weekend, November 7th through the 9th, we had 3 performances of the Dead Quilter Society at, I have to tell you, it was sold out at the Sedona Heritage Museum. I want to thank everybody for coming. And also, our webmaster was there. Yes, we have a website, deadquilters.com. Our webmaster, Lou Bloodsoe, and his beautiful friend, Marianne. She was with us too. And Lou went ahead and videotaped our performances. And wow, it just turned out fantastic. So you're going to be able to see a little bit on our website. Remember, that's deadquilters.com. And by the way, for the holidays, if you want to host a tribute to somebody who you absolutely adore, who happens to be a woman, could be your mom, your aunt, could be a sister, or any woman in your life, go to deadquilters.com and you will find Threads of the Quilt. Click on it, and there you can be a part of our digital quilt. All you have to do is you just purchase it for $25. You can put up a picture of that person and also a 280-word tribute. So check it out, deadquilters.com. Thank you for those of you who came to see the show, and thank you again, Lou. Now, here's some really new news. This week, we just submitted our movie, which only took us 6 years to make, Weird Detention, to the Sedona International Film Festival. So excited. So fingers crossed. And a little bit of news. We have changed the title. It is no longer Weird Detention. I have to get used to it. It's High School Detention, the Musical, which I think is even more clear and more fun. So you've got to just keep your fingers crossed. Cheer for us. We probably will know sometime in January, maybe the end of December. I don't know, that we're going to actually be in this festival. Oh, I just so hope so. And I want to thank everybody who has contributed to making this movie a reality for us, because we could not have done that without our fiscal receiver, the Artist Forum in New York City, and also all of you who donated. And you can still donate, because guess what? We are moving into the distribution part of this whole process, of this project. So I want you to see it, and hopefully you'll get a chance to see it in February at the Sedona Film Festival. Ooh, the Sedona International Film Festival. So thank you for cheering us on. Make sure you visit WeirdDetention.com and, of course, DeadQuilters.com. So thank you again for tuning in. And remember, every Saturday at 10 a.m., you can always hear it live streaming on mellowmountainradio.com. Or if you have a radio and you're listening to it, remember it's KAZM 106.5 FM and 780 AM. And if you've missed it on Saturdays at 10 a.m., you can always check it out on Spotify, Pandora Radio, Apple Podcasts, and many, many other streaming places. So make sure you do that. And thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. I want to thank my sponsors, because without them, I could not be doing this show, which is the Sedona Heritage Museum, Sefton Engineering, Cleaner, Quicker Car Wash, Sedona New Day Spa, Sedona Ballet, and my presenting sponsor, Chef Lisa Dahl and the Dahl Group. Thank you so much. And again, thank you to Ryan Thompson, my engineer and producer, and the owner of KAZM, Chuck Helstein. Love you guys. You guys are terrific. Now, remember, get your VIP pass every Saturday. Get it out. Saturdays, 10 a.m., and of course, later on all those streaming channels to hear all those great stories behind the scenes of Sedona. I'll see you next week.